No, do not hate on the Shadow Mark. He is in fact a legend. Hello everyone, I am the Angry Trainer and welcome to my first YouTube video. In this video I'll be showcasing the team that got me to legend in the Ultra League Premier Cup. So this team consists of Shadow Mark on the safe swap, and the Mark is ranked about 325, it cost me about 440,000 Stardust. So it was a good job I hit legend in the end. So he's got Trevanant on the lead, and this one's ranked about 80, I think. I just used a lucky one as the IVs aren't too bad when it comes to Premier Cup. And then finally we have Obstagoon as the closer, and the IVs are pretty bad on this one. I think it's ranked about 1,700 odd. But the IVs don't matter too much for Obstagoon anyway. And then we have the little shiny, look at that, what a bad man. We're not using the shiny as the IVs are horrendous. So first battle up against a Crobat, not a particularly good lead for Trevanant. I don't want to go straight into Muck, it is the direct counter, so what I'm going to do is throw a Shadow Ball to try and get a shield or get it down pretty low. So we throw the Shadow Ball and they do shield, so now I'll go into Muck, and at this point I'm not going to shield anything that they throw. The Poison Fang's resisted, and even if they hit me with a Shadow Ball it doesn't matter, because they could potentially go into a harder counter and it would be a wasted shield, and that is what happens. Swampert comes in. So I throw the Dark Pulse to do some decent damage, and at this point I'm just hoping maybe I can get to another move, and it does look like they're actually going to try and farm me down. So I go for the Thunder Punch, maybe thinking that they won't know that I haven't got to the Dark Pulse. I do throw it and they use their second shield, so that's a good thing about Muck. A lot of people get confused, they don't know the move counts, and in that situation I actually got the second shield out of him. Come back in with the Trevenant, we're going to just farm all the way down. We're probably going to have to use a shield because they're going to get to 2 moves. I'm pretty sure it's not going to be a Sludge Wave, so I'll let it go through. And then we'll shield up the second one. So now we're going to be able to farm down the Swampert. But the opponent makes a good play because they swap straight into Gyarados, stopping me from farming down the Swampert. And there I think I did a misplay. I do think that I should have thrown the Shadow Ball at the Gyarados, come in with the Obstagoon and just farm down all the way so that I had energy for the Crobat. But at this point I've gone straight into the Obstagoon thinking I'll bank the energy on the Trevenant, and then that way he'll be able to take out the Crobat with the Shadow Ball. So we throw another Night Slash, we're getting the Gyarados pretty low. And I'm thinking at this point I just want to counter down. Now it comes to using a shield, and for some reason I don't use a shield here. I think that I'm going to need that for the Crobat matchup, but I think that's a mistake. And at this point as well I throw the Night Slash, which is also a big mistake. If I had just banked that Night Slash, gone into the Trevenant could have taken out the Crobat with the Shadow Ball, and then we would have had the Night Slash left for the remainder of the Swampert's health, because that is just lingering in the back there, and that is going to be the downfall in this matchup. So you'll see we take the Crobat out, and then we get mud-shotted down with 1 HP by the Swampert. So a very close battle and a couple of mistakes there, and you can see that it's very crucial to be hyper aware of your win conditions and the situation that you're in. So the next battle is a Crobat, so not a very good lead once again. We're going to do the same thing, let's go for the Shadow Ball, but my opponent tries to catch the Shadow Ball on the Snorlax, which was a very risky play. This has worked out perfectly for me because I banked the move on the Trevenant. So now we're coming in with the Obstagoon, we're just going to look to farm down as much as possible. We're going to have to shield here because the Superpower will pretty much take us out. We know that we can take another superpower due to the debuff, the attack does 4x1. This particular Snorlax, I think it's just going to be another body slam. I think depending on the IVs, the Snorlax can get to a second superpower, but in this case we managed to farm it down. He might have been able to get there, but it looks like he just wanted to get the energy off. So in comes the Crobat, massive lag, don't really see that too much in Go Battle League. And it looks like they're probably just going to throw a Poison Fang because the Shadow Ball is hyper resisted. Now we have 2 Night Slashes to throw. The Crobat, the normal Crobat, is a lot tankier than the Shadow version, so it's definitely going to take 3 Night Slashes to take this out, considering the counter is double resisted due to the poison and flying typing. Now we get up to the 3rd Night Slash, and we're going to see if they want to let the Crobat go down. So we throw the Night Slash, and they do shield, and at that point I'm going to swap into the Muck. Makes me think there is something that doesn't want to see the Obstagoon there. And they do throw the Shadow Ball, and we know we can survive this, we've seen it already. Even the Shadow version of Muck is pretty tanky, and the fact that the Crobat's not getting stabbed off of the Shadow Ball means that we can take it quite comfortably. They bring in an Obstagoon, so that's absolutely perfect. The counters are doing virtually nothing with the poison typing resisting the counters, so we're just going to go to town with the Thunder Punches here, and we've already brought it down really low. The poison damage against neutral matchups is just so good on the Shadow Mark after the poison jab update, and it does make it a very viable option in the league. So at that point we're just poison jabbing down the Obstagoon, and the Crobat's done for as well. So that's the GG's there. On to the next battle against Culture D. So the lead is a Glizzcore, which is a pretty terrible lead for my entire team. It has play against everything. So as with the Crobat, we're just going to stay in and look to throw a Shadow Ball, put on the shield pressure. Hopefully they'll think that I'm trying to bait. I think the C-Bomb is neutral due to the ground typing. So they are tearing into us and they're throwing a Night Slash. We're going to have to use a shield because it will do massive damage. So we throw the Shadow Ball, they do shield, and then we go into the Obstagoon. I think I was trying to catch a Night Slash there, so it didn't quite work out. They come in with Venusaur, so it's not a particularly great matchup for the Obstagoon. But I should be able to do some good damage and then come in and farm with either of the other two Pokemon, as they do resist both their moves. Well, the Trevanant is neutral against the Sludge Bomb. But we throw another Night Slash and we get the boost, so this is pretty good. And at this point I'm thinking I'll let the first Frenzy Plant go down, but I'm considering farming down the Venusaur because I think they are now in farm down range due to the Night Slash boost. It wouldn't have been as they resist the counters, but that the Night Slash boost is a little bit broken. Gives you +2 in attack. So we do farm down the Venusaur, and now I'm a little bit worried that the Gliscor will win CMP and knock me out here, but they either don't throw or they don't have the higher attack stat. I'm not actually sure of the stats. And then we get another boost, absolutely insane. So we're now at +4 attack. The Obstagoon's at max attack, and we take out the Gliscor, and they have a Trevenant in the back. So unfortunate for my opponent, I did actually win that due to the boost. That's a big GG there. So into the next one, we've got an Empoleon on the lead. This is a very good lead for the team. Obviously, we'll be threatening with the Drill Peck, but we're pretty much going to outpace it to the Shadow Ball. It's about the same sort of time. What I do decide to do is I slightly over farm, and I think, you know, what I'll do is I will just shield up, and then I'll farm up as max as I can. And then if they shield, then we'll be able to take them out with another Shadow Ball. And if they don't shield, then I will have energy for the next matchup. And this is the good thing sometimes you want to do, is you want to over farm in case they don't shield, because then that way you are absolutely loaded for the next matchup. And it is a Trevenant they bring in. So we're going to go for the Seed Bomb bait because they're definitely going to shield. They don't want to get one-shotted, and we're already down one shield anyway, so that's very good. And then because we've baited, we forced them to throw the energy because we might end up getting to the Shadow Ball. So this is absolutely perfect. Couldn't be a better situation. Obstagoon comes in. We know at this point, I think one Night Slash is going to get them within a few HP of being low, and we should be able to farm down. We're probably going to have to take a few Seed Bombs, but luckily the Shadow Claw does absolutely nothing, as it is double resisted due to the Ghost and normal typing. So yeah, we do bring it down very low with the Night Slash. I'm thinking I can probably farm down, get a decent amount of farm because of the resisted counters. But they do swap out straight away into a Gallade, which is absolutely brilliant, because if I'd have let the Obstagoon go down and then be matched up with the Gallade 1-to-1 shields, they would have been able to beat us, because the confusion damage would have been doing so much to the poison typing, as much as their charge moves don't do anything. So this is great. I can just stay in, I throw the Night Slash in between the confusion to make sure that they don't beat us to CMP. So now we force the last shield, and they over farm and they let us get in another Night Slash. So they were just trying to commit to a massive farm down there just to get enough energy for what was in the back. But at this point they're solo, it's not going to matter. I throw in the Muck to catch the Leaf Blade just to flex completely and just say, you know, sorry opponent, you've been dicked in the eye, mate. You've been truly dicked. Anyway, Shadow Muck, GG's. So yeah, this seems really fun to use, and I just wanted to speak quickly on the value of using something quite unique in the league. Sometimes it is better to just choose your own unique team and then learn it inside and out, and this can really help you to push to legend instead of running meta things that people are expecting. This game, so we've got a terrible lead against Obstagoon, we swap out into Muck and we get some horrendous lag. So sometimes that can actually work in your favour, because if the opponent's trying to swap out, they can't, and you're doing extra damage with the fast moves. They do stay in, and this is what I was saying about Shadow Muck, is sometimes people will stay in because they're not sure what to do. And that was brilliant for me, because I've done a lot of damage on the Obstagoon, which is a big threat to both of my other back Pokemon, and they take ages to swap in Nidoqueen, and if they'd have been quicker on the swap, that would have been a much easier matchup for them. They throw the Poison Fang straight away, which is resisted, and their Poison Jabs are also resisted, so it's brilliant for the Muck. We're going to throw a Dark Pulse. Now I think they might shield this. Do they let this one go through? They let this one go through. I think they shielded the first one. So at this point it's even better, because again they're trying to farm us down, they don't know the move count. I get to another Dark Pulse, they're going to have to commit the last shield or let it go down. They do let it go down, and we simultaneously KO each other. And these situations, I like to sometimes let the game choose, because I'm unsure what to go with. I do go with the Trevenant, thinking they won't expect me to bring the Trevenant back in, knowing that if they come back in with the Obstagoon it's a terrible matchup. I bring in my own Obstagoon, trying to catch, for some reason, a Shadow Ball. I have no idea why I thought they were going to go for the Shadow Ball, because they were definitely going to bait due to the fact that they were down by one shield and I have 2 shields left. And at this point I'm thinking I may have actually cocked up completely, because if the Obstagoon is able to do enough damage, then I may have mucked it up if they take us out. But luckily I'm going to pressure the last shield with the cross chop. And we get right to the end, I get in the last counter, and at this point I could just let this go I could just shield up and then throw the Night Slash, but you know, we've got full energy on the Trevanant. We're flexing, we're just going to farm down the Obstagoon, but in fact they actually get to a move, so we've got to use our shield anyway. But they're out of shields and we have a Shadow Ball loaded and they have Trevanant in the back. And they know that, so they quit. So that, mate. Anyway, on to the next battle. I think, what was that? It was a 4-1 set. And we've got a delicious little frillish here that we can eat. Nice with a bit of salt and pepper. Anyway, into the next one. You can see my ranking now. I think I'm about 3,100 and something. So yeah, not only has this team got us to legend, but it's also pushing us towards the leaderboards. The next matchup is a Heracross on the lead, something you don't see too often. This is a good matchup really for Trevanant. The only thing we need to worry about is the Mega Horn, and I think that's 8 counters. I think they may have gone to 8 counters there, and I wasn't totally sure, but I did let it go thinking that they weren't going to go for it straight away, and they do just have Rock Blast. So we can take 2 Rock Blasts, throw the Shadow Ball. I'm expecting they're going to shield up and then likely swap. So I do farm up to Shadow Ball, and they do swap, so that's why if you've got an idea that they're going to do that, if they use that shield and they know another move's coming and it's going to take them out, they're likely going to swap, because otherwise, why would they use the shield? They wanted to conserve the Heracross. So I called the swap, I swapped straight into Obstagoon, absolutely perfect, because now we're matched up against the Lapras. Which, I mean, it's okay against Muck, because Muck has Thunder Punch, but it gets to Surf a lot quicker, so it's probably the best is to have Obstagoon up against it. And I think at this point we're thinking we can farm down, can we? Yeah, we can farm down. So now we're loaded for the Pokemon to come back in, or whatever he has in the back. So he does bring back in the Heracross, which is probably the right play. He doesn't get a counter through, which is very good. It seems to be completely random at times whether you hit the move when another Pokemon's coming back in, whether they can get that fast move in. So we get to 2 Night Slashes, which is perfect. We're pretty much bringing it down low, and we actually managed to counter it down as well, which is crazy. And they bring in Ampharos, so this is looking pretty GG's here. The amount of damage we're already doing, look at that with the Poison Jam. Poison Jam? You know, I don't know if I want Poison Jam. I like normal jam, but anyway. Look how much the damage the Dark Pulse did. And then we're just going to flex and not even shield here, because it's just like that. Look at that. Look, there's nothing. We're Shadow. We don't even care. Get out. Anyway, GG's to my opponent. On to the next one. What was that? A fan? Sorry about that, I had to go back and double take. The name was A Fan Here, so a very nice name. A Drifblim on the league, something that I've not really seen at all. I think this is the first Drifblim I've encountered in the entire in Premier League. Classic Cup, Classic, Premier. Anyway, so we're going to go into the Muck. And again, they don't swap out, so I don't know if it's just that people don't know the tyre pins, or they don't know, or even if their backline is just completely weak to Muck, but they don't swap out, so this is great. We know we can take 2 Icy Winds. Like I say, even the Shadow Muck is a tank. So we're going to get to another Thunder Punch, and again, I'm over farming. I'm making them think that it's taken me ages to get to these moves. So they commit a shield, and we get to the next Thunder Punch. They're thinking they can farm us down. They can't. Are they going to commit 2 shields? I think they will. So they do, and they go for the full farm down on us. So at this point, I don't want to bring in the Trevanant because it's going to take massive damage from either Shadow Ball or Icy Winds. So I bring in the Obstagoon because I know it's a tank. It can take multiple moves. Look at that. The Icy Wind doesn't really do too much to Obstagoon. It is surprising how tanky Obstagoon is. I just wouldn't have thought it would be so tanky, but it really is. Its attack stat's a bit lower. And I thought to myself that they probably should have been at another move by then. So I don't know if they were over farming. Hex can be a bit annoying again with the turns. I think it's 3 turns. It's one of those annoying moves that sometimes you can lose all your energy if you over tap. So they bring in Obstagoon, and we're going to go for the Seed Bombs, of course. I'm counting up to basically throw at the same time in as their Night Slashes. I don't want them to get a counter through. And if you're unaware of this mechanic, it's a really annoying mechanic about the game that, for whatever reason, sometimes you are able to get through fast moves, and it can flip matchups. And if you learn how to throw your charge attacks at the exact moment that they've finished their turn, then you can deny them the fast move, and this can be one of the most important things with securing some matchups. It can flip it, because 1 turn difference can be a difference at times. So yeah, they're going to take us out. We've done quite a lot of damage to them, which is good. So we're going to come back in now with the Obstagoon. And I think at this point I've realised that basically I've got not enough health to win the matchup out. I was thinking that maybe 2 Cross Chops will do it, but unfortunately Cross Chop isn't a particularly strong move, and with Obstagoon not being the most attack weighted Pokemon, and the fact that it's not getting stabbed from Cross Chop, means that I think the Lapras is going to live this next Cross Chop and be able to get to another Surf, which is unfortunate, but a very close game. I think I could have probably played this one a bit differently. I'm not really sure exactly what I needed to do to get the win, but taking the damage on the Obstagoon there from the Drifblim in the end was the difference, because I wasn't able to survive another Surf. So GG's to my opponent, going into the next battle. And at this point, I just wanted to say to anyone that's trying to hit Legend, don't get discouraged if you are having a bad time. It is incredibly difficult. I haven't made it every season. At one point, I did drop 400 points in a week. So it is possible to take these massive hits and come back. So into the next battle, we've got a Flygon on the lead, a little bit spicy, not really used to this one. We're going to play it very similar to the Dragonite matchup. We just basically need to shield up one Dragon Claw, over farm, get to the Shadow Ball, and a lot of the times they'll let this go through because they're expecting you going to bait. So that worked out well for us. You know, if we hadn't banked that extra energy when we throw the first Shadow Ball, we would be in a pretty bad spot now because we've got nothing to threaten the Chandelure, who probably would have been able to farm us down. So we bait with a Seed Bomb, which is great. Now the Chandelure is very attack weighted, so as you can see, it's absolutely destroying the Muck with its boosted attack and the flame charges. But it is quite glassy itself, so it's definitely going to commit the second shield. And at this point, they're going to farm us down. So we're not in a particularly great spot. Thinking about what I should do. Do I want to try and take the damage on the Obstagoon? So instead of fake luck, I'm going to be able to farm down with the Trevanant. They swap out and they go into Napoleon, so that's absolutely brilliant for us because they're not going to get too much farm on the Trevanant. We've done a nice bit of chip and we can just farm the Napoleon down. At this point, I'm thinking that Hydro Cannon will actually do probably more damage than a Flame Charge from the Chandelure now that they swapped out and cleared their boosted attack, and we're going to farm down the entire way. We've got Night Slash ready for the Chandelure. It's got 1 HP anyway, probably could have just countered down, could have thrown a cross drop and hit no bubbles. But yeah, GG's to my opponent. Credit to using something a bit different, probably where they're Legend already, using something a bit spicy, which is the fun of hitting Legend. You can start to use something a bit different, you know, but I've used something a little bit different in this meta and got to Legend, so that's always nice. So here we go again with the Dragonite. They've got Dragon Tail rather than Dragon Breath. So as I said before, I just farm up a lot, try and get in an extra Shadow Claw when they throw their Dragon Claw on the 4th Dragon Tail. And that was quite surprisingly difficult to say. So anyway, yeah, we throw the Shadow Ball and they let it go through again. And I think the thinking behind that all is just because you've used one shield, they feel more pressured to shield, so they think that you're going to bait because you think that they're definitely going to shield the move up. So you go for the more powerful move, over farm, and they do let it go through a lot of the time. So now it's worked out perfectly. We had energy to throw against the Trevanant, we got a shield out of them, get the swap advantage, so we bring in the Obstagoon, which is quite a comfortable matchup. They do have a little bit of energy, so they will get us fairly low after a few Seed Bombs. I think this is one where I lose track of the count of how many fast moves they've done, and I end up taking a little bit more damage than I think I wanted to. Let's see how it plays out. So I'm going to throw another one here. Yeah, I think they may be one ahead still on fast moves, so I know that this is a different battle, so I swap out to try and snipe them. They do swap out with a little bit of health, and they go into Empoleon, so this is perfect now. So we've got a little bit of a head start on the energy, just so we can get the Thunder Punches off a bit quicker, because I think that one Hydro Cannon is going to kill the Muck for sure, so we're already down over half health, so that is obviously the case. So yeah, just waiting for this. We're going to let this go through and then just come in with the Obstagoon, just go straight for the cross drop. And I think this is going to come down right to the wire with fast moves that are resisted. I mean, look how close we are now. That's like 2 HP, and they've got like 2 HP. But that's how much Shadow Claw is resisted by Obstagoon. It's like, you know, immune completely to it. So, and it is a tank as well. So, Trevanant is definitely a lot more glassy. Yeah, and shout out to anyone that caught the text of me getting told that our Nando's had been ordered. Yeah, Nando's is good. Anyway, so in this battle we had a really good lead. We had Toxicroak in the lead against Trevanant. So they swap straight out into the Lapras. We go straight into the Obstagoon, so that's a pretty easy matchup here. We're just going to farm all the way down. I think we could take another Surf easy. And then we're just going to throw a few Night Slashes probably against the Toxicroak. And again, this is going to be one. Oh, we do decide to actually just throw. Yeah, I think because maybe they would have taken us out, so we'll just do this. I thought they might have even tried to shield and farm us down there, but they're just going to come in and take us straight out with the Toxicroak. Yeah, there it comes in. So we win the swap there again. We go back in with Trevanant, and now it's Gyarados versus Mark. And this is great for the Mark because the Thunder Punch will just take this out completely because it is 4 times weak to electric, because it is a water and flying type, which are both weak to electric. So, and the Muck's doing a lot of damage as well with the poison jabs. Look at that. And even though we're Shadow, we've got them into yellow before they have. That's just Gyarados is a very squishy Pokemon. We let the Aqua Tail go through. We're just going to pressure it. Now, that was a bit of a risk, really, because if they shield, which they do now, they might be able to farm us down. So now we're in a bit of a weird position because we've got a shield here. So we put the shield up and hopefully be able to farm down. Oh, and they've got the Toxicroak still. So this is going to come down to whether they can get this Sludge Bomb off, because they've done so much damage to us already. Sludge Bomb does about 70% of the health, and we managed to Shadow Claw them down before they get to it, because they kept swapping out straight away. They didn't have any sort of residual energy on it, and they back out because they know it's done. And right there you can see as well how important it was, the fast move denial, because when I threw the Shadow Ball initially when the Toxicroak came in, if I'd allowed him to sneak one extra counter through, he may have actually have got to the Sludge Bomb. So me throwing it perfectly on the counter when he finished it was very crucial in winning that match. So in this matchup we had another Empoleon lead, and it played out a little bit differently from the last one as they farmed up past the Drill Peck. So we threw the Shadow Ball straight away, they let it go through, and then we let their Drill Peck go through, and then they bring in Venusaur kind of strangely, I think maybe trying to snipe, but we were able to get Shadow Ball off, so forced the shield from them because that would have done massive damage. And now, even though we are resisting the Frenzy Plant, it's going to do like half health because Venusaur, the Shadow version, is just so attack weighted, it's crazy. So then we're going to shield up the next one and then farm up as much as possible. I think it's 6 then 5 for the Frenzy Plant, so we're counting up to like 4 just to be safe. And this is the thing, learning the fast move counts is so important because it allows you to farm up the max amount of energy that you can before taking things out, because you can count how many they are and you're not going to get taken by surprise, unless they sneak in a fast move, of course, which does happen quite a lot. It is so hard even to time it right, even though you know what you're doing. So we've taken out the Venusaur and they bring in a Surfetch. Now I think they've got a tiny bit of health left on the Empoleon. We go for Thunder Punch, so this will be doing neutral damage, and they do shield it up. We are resisting the counters once again because of the Poison typing. We get to another Thunder Punch, so this is probably going to do a nice amount of health off of the Surfetch, a little bit squishy. And look how much damage we've done before we go out. So great, just the amount of resistance to the counter there. And you see the little trick we pulled there, we pulled in the Obstagoon and instantly swapped to the Trevanant to just basically, and I knew that they weren't going to throw straight away. I wasn't sure whether they were actually at the move, but I knew they weren't going to throw bang as soon as I brought it in. So I did one counter, instantly swap, and we catch the move on our 1 HP Trevenant, absolutely sealing the win. I think we would have won that match anyway, to be honest, but because I don't think he would have had close combat, probably had Brave Bird, so we probably would have survived that with the Obstagoon and taken him out. So now we've got a Trevenant mirror match, and what I was trying to do, is just try and get the fast move through. So if they were to throw on the Shadow Ball, then I just keep hitting the fast move, trying to get one through, and then I'll just bait them with the C-Bomb and I'll be one ahead. And that does actually happen in this matchup here, but I think I do something very stupid. So I let the C-Bomb go through, and then for some reason I don't throw any of my energy. It makes absolutely no sense to me at all. We would have won that match comfortably there, and then we would have come in with whatever they brought in, so we would have won the switch. But in this case, I decided to come in with Obstagoon because I can get a big bit of farm off of the resisted counters, and they bring in Surfetch, which is terrible, so I go into Muck and they come in with their Alolan Muck. And this is actually a pretty good matchup for the Shadow Muck, especially with the energy lead like we've got. What I like to do usually is just shield up first, because I don't think most of them are going to bait with the Acid Spray, so we just shield up the Dark Pulse. It does quite a bit of damage to the Shadow Muck. And now we're going to throw our first Thunder Punch and then let it go through. It does a little bit of damage. It's not super amazing against the Alolan Muck. It's a little bit more tanky. But yeah, I mean, I actually would say that these are probably about the same. I've used the Alolan Muck a lot, and I wouldn't say that the Shadow Muck is any less tanky, which is quite surprising, to be fair. And in this matchup, they actually go for another Dark Pulse, and we managed to farm them down, so that's absolutely perfect. And we're up against the Surfetch here, and this is getting really close because it's going to counter down our Obstagoon. So we do a bit of damage. Can we get to another Thunder Punch? We can. And so that means we're going to use the last shield, and I don't know, is a cross chop going to be enough with the Obstagoon and some counters? Come on, we can do it. Come on, Nagoon, member of KISS. It doesn't do enough. Oh my god, man. And then look, 1 HP, and they've got a move, so maybe, I don't know, we probably could have survived the counter if they didn't have the move there, but I thought we were going to win that one, and I can't believe cross chop didn't do enough. You're shit, Obstagoon. You're dead to me. No, I'm just kidding. So yeah, that battle left me sore, especially after not getting energy off. I go into the next battle and my opponent just quit straight away because of the matchup, so absolutely perfect. Remedied my anger straight away. And we get a delicious little Litwick for our troubles. So I think I went 3 out of 5 there. I think the first set was 4-1, 3-1, 6-3, and look what we got for hitting Legend. Shiny Pikachu Libre? Yes, mate, get in. Yeah, you're not even close, man. Sick. And then we hatched a shiny Stunfisk as well, so it's been a very good weekend for me. I really appreciate if you've watched this whole video, it means a lot. Please like if you've enjoyed the video, and please leave a comment if you've got any feedback or any questions. And please subscribe if you'd like to see some future videos. I'll definitely will be bringing out some videos for the Master League, Premier Cup, Classic Cup, Cup Classic. So yeah, until next time, stay angry, trainers.